every time I pass a person on a bicycle on the road, I always resist the urge to just run them right off the road into a ditch, or at least run them right off the road onto a freaking sidewalk, which is perfectly available 6 feet to their right, where they won't be directly in front of a huge line of cars or something like that. And the ire that I feel for these cyclists is pretty understandable, because if you drive around in a busy area and there is a person on a bicycle, they are a hindrance. They get in the way. They are completely monopolizing sometimes an entire lane, because even if they're on the side of the lane, not everybody can just whip on by that person, because you don't want to hit them and knock them off, or like run past them too hard, and you have that little bit of worry like, oh shit, what if this person were to fall right now and I would run over them and crush them and kill them? Or the worry of, hey, this is a 2-lane highway, this person on the bicycle, probably not a good idea, because I'm having to kind of get to the left a little bit, and I don't want to run into oncoming traffic, but I kind of have to risk that because this stupid bastard won't get onto the sidewalk. And it just blows my mind, because the biggest thing I say to people on bicycles, at least when I talk to them, I have a few friends that are cyclists, and I say, why don't you just ride on the sidewalk? Perfectly reasonable to me. Sounds like a normal thing to say. And usually they say, "Oh, because that's bad for the tires. That's not good for the bicycle. I have a road bike. I don't have to ride on the sidewalk. I can ride on the road. It's my road just like yours. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes." And to me, I want to be sensitive to their issue, but at the same time, I want to say that's not my goddamn problem. Get a bike that can ride on the sidewalk, because I guarantee that you're much less of a hindrance to the, I don't know, 15 people that you'll see on 2 miles of sidewalk, as opposed to the 200 cars you're going to run into in that same space. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. And to me, it's almost like a profound ignorance to your own self-awareness. Like, you have to have the same level of self-awareness as a goldfish to be a cyclist who honestly believes that driving your bicycle on the road alongside cars is not a hindrance, and that it's in any way safe for anyone. Because it blows my mind, because like, I would never go to a track with rollerblades on and then try and do like skate backwards along the track and then demand that the people on the track make way for me and that I be given priority and that they pay extra attention to me when I pass to make sure that they don't accidentally trip me or something. Like, I would never do that, because I see that as rude. That's rude. You're going to a medium of racing that is meant for people, that is meant for feet to be running, because that's the safest way to do it. For me to skate backwards or to bring a little tricycle there and then monopolize a whole lane would be pretty rude of me, and I understand that, because I'm self-aware and not a complete blithering retard. But to these people, it almost seems like they just don't give a shit. Like, and the biggest example is the fact that they say, the biggest excuse I've gotten from bicycle users on the road is that they are following all the rules of the road. They say, if I'm following all the rules of the road, you have no right to complain, because I'm doing exactly what you do. I'm stopping at stoplights and stop signs and using my hands as movement. And surprisingly enough, I've heard this argument before from multiple cyclists, and they don't seem to understand, like, when I say rules of the road, what is the first rule that pops into your head? The first one, bam, it's speed limit, obviously. And what is the biggest rule that people on bicycles cannot follow on the road? Bam, speed limit. Now, some of these people are going 30 miles under the speed limit and taking up like a 2-foot section of the road on the right side. And if you're in a 2-lane road where people are oncoming on your left and you're going on the right, and there's some dumbass on a bicycle taking up space, and you're having to watch him and take care of him and make sure, hey, I don't want to accidentally speed up too fast past this guy and spook him and have him fall over, or hey, I don't want to accidentally run into this guy and knock him into the road and kill him. And so you're trying to focus on him and make sure that you're not, hurting him in any way. And meanwhile, you're having to drift a little bit over into the left lane and get into oncoming traffic almost, because this stupid bastard is too inconsiderate and too woefully narcissistic and thinks that his safety is such a priority and his enjoyment of bicycling is such a priority that he can't just buy freaking tires that can work on a sidewalk. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit if your tires get messed up on the sidewalk. If you bought tires that get messed up on the most convenient medium to ride a bike, then you're a retard, and you should probably be wearing 3 helmets to make sure that you don't fall off and hurt yourself. Although it might even be better if you fell off and hurt yourself, because you're apparently such an idiot. I mean, I can't even wrap my mind around it, honestly. Like, who gets on a bicycle and goes onto a busy road with a sidewalk 5 feet to their right and thinks, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be next to all of these huge automobiles that could crush me like an ant if one person makes a tiny little mistake, and I'm just going to ride, and I'm just going to pretend like I'm not in anybody's way. Who cares if I'm going 20 miles under the speed limit? Who cares if, I'm really getting in the way when someone wants to take a right at a freaking stoplight? Who cares if I'm just, completely monopolizing half a lane for myself while forcing other people to almost merge into each other? Because that's not even in their vernacular, that courtesy word. What's courtesy? What's tact? What's being understanding of other people's driving needs and safety? Like to me, that's almost like wearing like a bib in public as an adult, because you're pretty much saying, hey, I'm doing this hobby, I'm doing it now, everyone around me, it's your responsibility to make sure that you don't hurt me, even though I'm doing this ridiculously dangerous thing. Like, who would do that? Like, who would honestly do that? That's honestly like me going to a freaking swim meet and getting into one of those lanes and just swimming around with one of those, I don't even know what you call them, the things they have in the ocean with the propeller, and me just monopolizing a whole lane with one of those things while other people were trying to race, and they're like, hey, look out, I don't want you to cut my hands off with those propeller things, and it's like, hey, buddy, sorry, I'm doing my thing here, you just gotta work around it. It sucks to suck. I'm following all the rules. I'm following all the rules, buddy. And then they could say, hey, why don't you go use that in a lake or in an ocean where it's reasonable, where it's safe, where you're not going to run into other people. And I say, hey, you're the one being intolerant of my hobby. Why won't you let me use this dangerous implement in your direct presence and put you and everyone around you in danger? Now, maybe that's not the best example, but for the sake of humor, we're going to use it. So it blows my mind seeing people on the road with bicycles. Like, I almost want, next time I see one, to just like nudge him, hit him, and force his bike up onto the sidewalk. And then hopefully something will click in his head where he'll be like, hey, yeah, this path is actually better because I'm not in everyone's way, and I'm not completely monopolizing and putting other people in danger because of my stupid-ass hobby. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you are a bicyclist on the road, get the hell off.